Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to another high-level video game here. The video game we'll be looking at today is called StarCraft II Legacy of the Void. In the bottom left, spawning as the red Protoss player playing for Team Big. It is ShoWTimE. In the bottom right, spawning as the blue Terran player playing for Team Liquid. It is Clem here, who is in the online clan Mlem. Of course, the team that he plays for is Liquid. The beautiful blue colors is what he's rapping right now. As we see ShoWTimE actually opening up with a Nexus before core here. That is an interesting little difference that we... a bit of a variation, or a bit different from what we usually see. So we're so used to that core first. ShoWTimE just opening up with the Nexus before core. This gives him just that little bit extra eco. I believe it's a probe and a half or so. Delays your cybernetics core by approximately 10-11 seconds. Also gets you a faster Nexus. Slightly faster gas, quicker gas, slower warp gate. So the upsides are very often felt the most when playing Stargate. And the downsides are most often felt when you're playing against some type of early aggression. And we're mainly thinking Marine Reactor type of builds. Marine Factory type of builds. Or Reactor first into some type of like double Reaper play. Or a 4 Reaper play. All of these things are kind of viable against this type of early Nexus opener. Because the gateway units are delayed. The initial warp gate is delayed. But with that fast Stargate, it often doesn't matter that much because you just have a faster tech unit out. Whereas the other option that Protoss usually goes for, of course, being the Twilight. The Twilight Council is not a structure that really provides any extra units, while the Stargate definitely does. So it's tech, but it's also a unit production facility at the same time. Makes it a very pleasant building to get for the early game in PvT. ShoWTimE opening up with 3 adepts here. Warp gate going down as well. It's, none of the first 3 units. Ooh. Wait, was this Marine into Reactor? How did he open this? Opens up with 5 Marines into double Hellions. A bit of an odd build order here. Don't see that too often. I wonder if ShoWTimE is going to get the scout on this. I don't think he will. Sees that there's an orbital morphing in the natural. It's interesting. Is that a 4th? No, it was a 3rd adept. Man, these guys build slow. I think we need a bit of a buff on that timing of the adept. Make it 20 seconds. Get them out just a bit quicker. Oh, it's going to be mines actually. It's going to be what, 6 Marines at home, 4 mines, 2 mines in really cool positions as well. I like this first position of the mine, just barely away from that slow zone, and then there's 1 mine just defending the mineral line. So a pretty cool setup here. ShoWTimE is going to get spotted by this depot. I don't think he sees that mine over there. Will he spot the mine anywhere else? Oh, he sees 2 mines in this position. Now he might just fly in the mine, and he indeed does. The reason for that is because he spotted 2 mines. It's very uncommon for someone to open up with a 4 mine opener. You almost never see that. Now, 2 mines are going to get picked up, and what are they going to do? They're going to start to try to move across the map. Phoenix will be the follow-up unit here for ShoWTimE. 1 Phoenix is out already even, as well as a robotics facility. I'm not quite sure if this was planned or this is more of an improvisation because he lost the Oracle saying, hey, I need some type of detection. I want to play it safer. I don't think I can get that 3rd base down easy, safe, and early. So instead, what ShoWTimE is doing here is he wants to get into that Phoenix Colossi setup, which is just super safe, but also is economically quite weak. I am not a huge fan of this 4 mine drop, at least not in a vacuum, but knowing that there indeed is a secondary type of mine drop here, so there is a bit of a distraction, this might actually do something here. There's 4 adepts in the main base. They will not be capable of one-shotting these mines, I believe. Here we go. Oh, boom. Yeah, well, they're definitely not capable of one-shotting these mines, not like this. 2 of these mines will end up falling, but all of them shoot. 7 workers go down. Clem in a pretty decent position here. Row away is being built. What timing was this? 5 minutes. It's going to be too late, I believe. Stim is going to be done by then, as Clem played a very fast 2nd Rex with an insanely quick Stim as well, which means that most likely he's going to push out with a bunch of Marines, pre-combat shield, and this is this is very good against these late Colossi timings. And this is going to be like a 620, 625 first Colossi out, I think. This Immortal is still building it well. That gives another 10-second delay on the first Colossus. So ShoWTimE is actually going to struggle a little bit, or potentially could struggle a little bit, if Clem will put on the pressure here. Now, Clem should be aware at this point. Yeah, he scouted the fact that there is a robotics bay on his opponent's side of the map. And it kind of should force him into a bigger Marauder count. And I'm surprised to see pure Marine so far, because Marines just don't fight that well against Colossi. They fight terribly against Colossi, to be honest. And even as little as 2 or 3 Marauders can make a huge difference. So I really believe there was a timing here with just Stim. And it felt like that was what he was going for, just a pure Stim timing. But now that I'm looking at this, I think that Clem believes that what he scouted here was a Twilight Council and not a Robo Bay. He's doing everything in this game as if it is a Twilight Council. Against a Twilight Council, against Charged Phoenix, you want to get a lot of mines out with your first push. You want to get pure Marine for that extra damage output. And then you want to push with 3 Medivacs, Combat Shield. Ideally, you have +1 as well. This is going to be quite the shock. And we should immediately see more Marauders being produced. One Marauder was already on the way. I think the next unit also is going to be a Marauder. I do really like this drop, though. Knowing that he probably can't do too much. Uses the mines to zone away the army for the ramp. Now should just stim in and... doesn't want to lose these units, I guess. I think he could have at least sent 5-6 Marines in there with 1 Medevac to try and deal some damage to these workers. 1 Phoenix is going to fall. So ShoWTimE's losing some of his valuable units. This Observer is providing a lot of vision as well. Marauder count finally starts to grow a little bit, as well as the Viking production here. We currently have 3 Marauders out, 29 Marines. I mean, this makes it absolutely impossible for Clem to do any damage whatsoever in a straight up push. Of course, he still has the possibility to go for drops, and he's kind of eyeing that main base right now with this large Marine force. There is a Colossi in there, there's a battery on the way, and a single Colossi with a battery can actually take on an infinite amount of Marines. This is scientifically proven. And at the front, oh, actually, this looks like maybe this has some potential. These Marines are gonna try to march into the natural. No, scan reveals that there is a Colossi moving now, so instead it's going to cancel that that expedition. We see Clem is just looking for damage, and he's not finding it so far. The setup for ShoWTimE is pretty good. And of course, that big misread in the early phases of the mid-game there by Clem, thinking that he was playing against the Twilight Council opener. Very, very painful. Completely getting the wrong unit composition. Finally, that Marauder count is starting to grow a little bit. We're at 9 Marauders now. Vikings are being added. But yeah, there's 3 Colossi, and yeah, I don't really mind this, honestly. I kind of like these type of drops. The scan, it reveals the intention here out of Clem. He's going to drop straight on top of that Colossi, though. Super Battery gets activated. The 2 Vikings are going to be a little bit too much. Battery gets taken out. I think they should kite back perhaps a little bit. Or is this position good enough? No, the kite back is going to be here right now. I think a bunch of workers went down. Not quite sure how many. Supply is looking good for Clem here. A lot of the Marauders are staying alive. Medevac count is going to get decimated, though. We still have 4 remaining, but that should very quickly go down to probably 0, unless ShoWTimE really messes up this Phoenix control. Loses 1 more Phoenix, loses a 2nd Phoenix as well. So Clem just trading Medevacs here for Phoenixes. It's not the greatest trade usually, especially because he's still working off of a single starport. If there was a 2nd starport here and slightly better eco for Clem, I'd say, well, that was a brilliant trade. But right now I'm actually not so sure. A lot of the Colossi stayed alive. A single Colossi went down. There is still some Phoenixes, so Medevacs are not going to be the king. They're not going to be reigning supreme. Upgrades are looking good for Clem. Once this 2-2 finishes up, we might get the enhanced shockwave upgrade as well. There is some potential for a big timing. This could be hitting the fort base. This could be hitting this general area. Be surprised if we would see any more major drops in this game, though. It's not really the type of game for that. And Clem is not really the player to do these massive drops. He likes to split his army, but honestly, Doomdropping is something that I don't see him do that much. Especially later on in the game. He likes these big fights. Fast-paced big fights, lots of multitasking. But Doomdropping towards the main base? Not too common. What do we have up here? Is that a stasis ward? No, that's a pylon. So on my peripheral vision, it looked like a stasis ward. Pretty obvious that it isn't though. One zealot here on the top side is going to spot the fact that there's no 7th base yet for Clem. I think ShoWTimE's going to be glad to see that. I mean, if there would be 7 base for Clem right now, that would be cause for concern for sure. Luckily it's 4 versus 4, ShoWTimE will be aware of that. It's already getting gas 7 and 8 as well, and that's often a key moment in the Protoss eco really, because here he'll start being capable of getting units that are really, really gas intense. Disruptors, and on top of that, get like kind of that secondary unit, so the DTs, or perhaps into carriers. You're just gonna get the gas for that. That's the beauty of the 8 gas. Of 6 gases, you just need to wait a long time, and often your army ends up being a lot of zealots if you want to get DT and disruptors. But with 8 gases, you can do some beautiful things. Disruptors are looking for damage, they're not quite going to get it. This is still a scary area, but because the medevac count is so little, it's going to be difficult for Clem to really threaten anything in towards the main base. I don't think Clem can fight this. He is going to try, or at least he's going to pretend that he's going to try. This is a fight that I think he could take. I'm surprised to see him move back that eagerly. Oh, perhaps this is the rotation that he's looking for. This army coming from the right side on top. I actually feel like if there was a single ghost in this army and he waits for 2-2, he would absolutely blast that top side army. The bottom side is going to be a lot harder. I mean, there's a lot of disruptors there. Archons, of course, not going to be too useful, as they mainly consist of shield, and there is plenty of EMPs available here to make sure that the shield goes away for a long, long time. What are these? Barracks 6 and 7, I guess? There's no Barracks 8 yet. We do have the 5th base on the way. Clem, once again, kind of posturing around that 3rd base area, as that really seems to be the name of the game here. He's going to stim in, scans forward, sees nothing there. Wants to take out a couple of cannons, maybe even go for the Nexus here. I don't think he can. He wants to attempt it anyway. Only 2 medevacs means that this army is going to run out of health relatively quickly as well. Now Clem is scanning forward, and perhaps he's looking for a bit of a flank with this army. ShoWTimE is extremely blind. That's a real pain point here. That also was a real pain point for Clem, losing 3 ghosts to a single disruptor shot. Of course, there's no stim on these ghosts, so they're a little bit slower than the rest of the army at times. Especially when the drugs have been ingested. +3 finally on the way. I feel like the upgrade, the continuous upgrades haven't really been a thing here for Clem. This is a good start of the engagement. Right now this right side probably needs to pull back. Bottom side is getting blinkered upon. We have a couple of Vikings still going as well, but there's just not that much here for the Vikings to shoot. The Colossi is going to fall. There's a lot of money in the bank as well right here for ShoWTimE. With 2 ghosts, I think a pure ground army should be beatable, especially because it's 2-2 against 2-1. Good EMP hits these Stalkers. Clem not getting the trade that he's dreaming of. 2 more ghosts are coming in. Liberators are on the way as well. Blink forward one more time. Do we have concussive show? Yes, it is there indeed. For a second I thought we didn't have it. Plenty of medevacs around, so this army can heal. Disruptors, however, is going to be the real issue. 1 shot's going to miss. 2nd shot will not hit either. I feel like that ShoWTimE might be walking into a bit of a death trap here. Often with an SCV pool, if there's not a lot of zealots around, SCVs can actually be quite tricky to deal with. A couple of disruptor shots mainly being used for zoning purposes here. I think there's still 2 available right now. Can we get any shots? Yep, there we go. Number 1. Good pickup out of Clem. Liberators coming forward as well. Another good pickup. All of these disruptors are going to fall. The bank is still very large for ShoWTimE, but he does not quite have the production to spend that. Only on 8 gateways, double robotics facility. And while that single Stargate most likely isn't going to produce very much anymore, now we have that 8 Stalker warp in, a couple more gateways going down. I do like that out of ShoWTimE, who's also getting a 5th base. He's trying to secure that 5th base, but the last 45 seconds weren't so brilliant. Now +3 is about to finish up as well. I feel like he got a bit over-eager. Probably should have just tried killing some workers over here on the 3rd base, but instead wanted to go for the throat. But Clem's throat punches back, so that was a mistake. Now Advanced Ballistics is about to finish up, and the Liberator count is only at 2, but they will grow quickly. We are of course on 2 starports here, both of them with reactors as well. So that is the ability to build 4 Liberators at a time, if the money is available, is there. And we see triple Libs on the way right now. Liberators, if there's no DTs on the map, are a huge threat. There's however a large DT warp in here towards the top side. there is some defense toward this planetary as well. And I actually think that if Clem can set up this position with 4 more Liberators, he can hold these run-bys for now, because he's just rallying towards that planetary. He's keeping his army on the bottom side, and he can reinforce this position with more lips. I think this 5th base might be in some serious danger. There's 2 more DTs on the way as well. I think these DTs will need to go in for a rotation. Stalkers are being added. That's going to be put behind the mineral line. I like that a lot. Bit of a tricky move, but I do like that. What are we seeing here? That's Liberator harass. These Liberators are not joining up with this position so far. Now the DT is moving towards the 4th base. Dust got spotted by Clem, but I'm not quite sure if he realized as well. I think he did blink forward. It's not going to be good enough. We see an instant recall, but still, I think 4 or 5 DTs ended up going down there. This Liberator is still denying mining as ShoWTimE's not paying attention to that Phoenix either. This mine is providing some vision and a little bit of zoning as well. The range on this planetary, it's actually crazy. He doesn't even have the range upgrade yet. Oh my god, oh! ShoWTimE's trying to break this position. Misses a lot of the disruptor shots, but the Liberators are going to get taken out. Good control out of Clem, but is it good enough? Shield upgrades finish up for ShoWTimE here. But still needs to run back a little bit. The Stalkers getting taken out after being EMP'd as well. And the Lips continue pushing forward. Liberators dealing a lot of damage with that +1 ship weapon. It's not quite capable of 2-shotting the Stalkers. Or in case of an EMP, single-shotting the Stalkers. Seems like Clem is a bit too eager to fight right here. +2 ship weapons. I think right now would be a good time to move back at least a little bit, as the DTs this time are going to get caught. I hope there's enough scans here for Clem. Oh my god, beautiful splits out of ShoWTimE. I don't think there were any scans available. These triple DTs will get taken out at the same time. ShoWTimE moving forward though, goes in for the kill, and Clem says, "You can have me, I give up." ShoWTimE wins the game. Beautiful action-packed PvT here between Clem and ShoWTimE. Very fun. Great to see. Clem just a little bit too over-eager there in the end. And perhaps also lost some momentum in that mid-game. It is what it is. That's going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. I hope you all had a good time. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Hopefully see all of you next time for a new video. Thank you, and bye-bye.